The Saint-Exupéry High School is an elite establishment, located in the heart of an upscale neighborhood where Haussmannian buildings bear witness to ancient luxury, inherited from generations of influential families. This is where the children of politicians, financial tycoons, CEOs, and renowned intellectuals meet. The high school corridors are lined with portraits of former students who have become ministers, ambassadors, writers, or renowned scientists. The students move there with quiet confidence, aware that their future is almost mapped out in advance. Malik Daira stands out in this setting, not because he is shy or uncomfortable, but because he knows that he does not share the same privileges as his peers. Unlike them, he did not grow up in social dinners where we debated politics and economics over a glass of expensive wine. He didn't spend his summers on the Côte d'Azur or interning in Dad's company. He is here because of his intelligence. An intelligence which earned him an excellent scholarship, allowing him to integrate this universe where inequalities are invisible to those who do not suffer from them. Malik is a reserved, but observant boy. He prefers to listen rather than speak, to analyze rather than rush. He knows that in this environment, the slightest mistake will be fatal. It must be impeccable. What most of his classmates don't know is that his father, Idris Daira, is a major figure in the academic and political world. A renowned historian, expert in international relations and former advisor to the United Nations, he is respected for his work on decolonization and African history. However, Malik avoids mentioning his name. He does not want to be reduced to son of. He refuses that his successes be attributed to the influence of his father. He wants to be recognized for his own merits, for his hard work. This is why he silently endures the condescending looks, the insidious remarks, and the thinly veiled judgments of certain teachers and students. But if there is a person who categorically refuses to recognize his talent, it is good M. Du Bois. Mr. Du Bois is a man of around 50, with a piercing gaze and a rigid posture. He teaches contemporary history with a learned tone, convinced of possessing the absolute truth. Once a university researcher, he had hoped for a more prestigious career. But his work was considered too conservative, too biased. He had developed a tenacious resentment, a barely concealed contempt for anything that called his point of view into question. If he can no longer express his ideas freely in the academic world, he does so in his classroom. Through his courses, he distills a vision of history where the West remains the center of the world and where the dark pages of the past are minimized, even justified. With certain students, he is benevolent, almost paternalistic. With others, he is cold and intransigent. But with Malik, it's a silent, constant hostility. He can't stand that this black boy can excel in his field. For him, Malik represents everything he despises. The emergence of a new intellectual elite which owes nothing to the West, which does not need its approval. So he waits for the slightest opportunity to humiliate her. This day the class studies colonialism and its consequences. A sensitive subject, which sparks heated debates. Mr. Du Bois observes the room. His gaze stops on Malik.
Now is the perfect time to test it out.
He walks slowly towards his desk, crosses his arms and blurts out in a falsely interested tone.
Diarra, tell me.
What was the impact of colonization on African countries? And above all, don't repeat what you hear at home. Give me a thoughtful answer, if you are able. The provocation is clear. He does not simply ask for an answer. He implies that Malik does not have his own opinion, that he is content to recite speeches learned by heart, perhaps those of his father.
A silence settles.
Some students exchange embarrassed glances. Others, fascinated by the tension, await what happens next with curiosity.
Malik takes a deep breath.
He refuses to be intimidated. His voice is calm, thoughtful. The impact was multiple. Economically, resources were plundered, which hindered local development. Socially, traditional structures were broken, which left entire societies in search of identity after independence. But Mr. Du Bois raises his hand and interrupts him abruptly. Yes, yes. Again this victimizing speech that we are given all the time. You always like to point the finger at the bad colonists instead of taking responsibility for your own inability to move forward. You should be grateful, Malik, because without colonization, you would not even be in this school. A shiver runs through the class. A nervous laugh bursts out in the background. Some students lower their heads, uncomfortable. Others look at Malik with compassion, but no one says anything.
The humiliation is public.
Malik feels his heart beating faster. A mixture of rage and frustration rises within him. He knows that if he reacts violently, he will be the one in the wrong. He will be the student who disrespects his teacher, the one who does not know how to keep calm. So he clenches his fists under the table, swallows his anger and remains silent. But deep down, he knows one thing. It's not over. What Mr. Du Bois does not know is who is his father. And Malik knows that soon the truth will come out. In the evening, when he returns home, Malik feels empty. He's not hungry. His body is tense, his mind still haunted by Mr. Du Bois' words. You should be grateful, Malik, because without colonization you wouldn't even be in this school. These words resonate inside him like a slow poison, seeping into his thoughts. Grateful? Is this how we should perceive history? A distorted prism where the oppressor becomes a benefactor and the truth is reduced to a simple opinion? He hesitates to talk about it. His father always insisted on the importance of strategic silence, on the intelligence of choosing your battles. But this time it's different. When he enters the family apartment, a spacious loft filled with bookcases and travel souvenirs, Idris Diarra is sitting in his leather armchair, a book in hand. He is an imposing man, with a piercing gaze that seems to see beyond appearances. As soon as he lays eyes on his son, he immediately understands that something is wrong.
Talk to me, son.
Idris's voice is calm, but firm. Malik hesitates, looks down, then ends up telling everything. The humiliation, the stifled laughter, the silence of the class. Idris says nothing. He listens attentively, his face impassive, but his fists slowly clench on the armrests of his chair. When Malik finishes, a heavy silence settles in the room. Then, Idris slowly stands up, his gaze now marked with cold determination. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. What Mr. Du Bois did not know is that the man he was about to confront was not just an angry parent.
Idris Diarra is not an ordinary man.
He is a renowned historian, a respected intellectual in international academic and political circles. Former advisor to the United Nations, author of several reference works on colonization and its repercussions, he has been invited to give lectures at the largest universities in the world. His word is authoritative. And above all, he never lets injustice go. That evening, he spent several hours writing a detailed letter, addressed to the high school principal, the media and influential colleagues in the academic world. He sets out the facts, methodically dismantles Mr. Du Bois' comments, and asks a simple but implacable question. How can we let a teacher teach history with such contempt for the truth and for his students? The next morning, an exceptional meeting is called at the high school. The director, a man in his 60s with graying hair, seems nervous as he welcomes Idris Diarra. But Idris is not alone. Several journalists are present, accompanied by influential professors and committed intellectuals. The affair took on a magnitude that the school had not anticipated. When Mr. Du Bois enters the room and sees Idris, he becomes livid. Until now, he had only seen Malik as a simple scholarship student, an intruder in this elite high school. He did not know that his father was one of the world's greatest specialists in colonial history. Idris walks towards him, his gaze impassive but piercing.
Mr. Du Bois.
I am here to discuss the treatment reserved for my son and the revisionist remarks that you dare to teach to these students. Mr. Du Bois tries to defend himself, stammering out clumsy justifications. I was only presenting a point of view. History is open to interpretation, after all. No, Monsieur Du Bois, Idris cuts in, his voice firm but calm. History is based on facts, not on opinions.
You do not transmit knowledge.
You impose a biased ideology, and you humiliate those who dare to think differently. Idris dismantles Du Bois' arguments one by one, citing precise historical facts, exposing the manipulations of his teaching in front of the entire assembly. Each word is an intellectual slap, each argument a slap that reduces Du Bois to silence. The high school principal, embarrassed, speaks. Mr. Diarra, we take this matter very seriously. An internal investigation will be conducted. But it's too late. The press has already seized on the scandal. The same evening, an article makes the front page of a major national newspaper. A history teacher at a prestigious high school accused of biased remarks and humiliation towards a black student. On social networks, the affair exploded. Testimonies from former students are emerging, recounting how Mr. Du Bois had already made questionable comments in the past. Faced with pressure, the high school suspends Du Bois and opens an official investigation into his teaching methods. A few days later, he is nothing more than a ghost in the corridors of the school. The following Monday, Malik enters class. This time, the atmosphere has changed. Looks have changed. Some students who were laughing nervously the other day lower their heads, ashamed. Others give him admiring glances. Arthur, a blond boy with blue eyes, from one of the most influential families in the city, approaches timidly. He's never really talked to Malik before, but now he wants to.
Malik.
I just wanted to say that what he did to you was unfair. Your father is incredible. Malik stares at him for a moment. He could smile, thank him. But deep down, he knows that this victory must not be his father's. So, he responds simply, in a calm but determined voice. I don't need my father to defend me. One day, I will be the one to defend history. And he really means it. Because that day, Malik understands that knowledge is a weapon. And he's ready to use it.